Bitcoin is getting ready to explode. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 signs which I'm seeing which are backing up this claim. And I'm also going to share my expectations when I expect that this massive pump is going to happen. So pay very close attention to this video because we're going to discuss a few very important news updates, tweets, and charts which you do not want to miss. But before we get started, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more valuable videos like this one, because throughout this period and throughout the upcoming bull market, I'm going to make sure to post regularly so that you get an edge in the market and really understand what is going on so that you can position yourself for maximum profits. With that being said, let me pull up the first thing that I want to show you. So here is a tweet which is basically showing a chart of the Bitcoin balance on exchanges. And this chart is showing that right now, and this is the green graph, we are experiencing an all-time low in Bitcoin balances on exchanges. And this means that we are basically seeing that there are fewer and fewer people that are selling their Bitcoin at this point. There's another article which also sort of shows this, but then from a different perspective. Here is an article on Cointelegraph, and it's basically saying that 45% of the Bitcoin supply has not moved in the past 6 months. And if you've been paying attention, last week we saw a lot of fear in the market. Basically, the global financial markets collapsed for a very short period of time. And even with all of that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, people did not move their Bitcoin. And why is that? Well, one reason is because Bitcoin is maturing as an asset class. And nowadays, people are more educated about what Bitcoin is as an asset, what use cases it fulfills, and why it has a really great long-term potential, especially when you compare it to holding just cash in your bank account. So Bitcoin is seen as a really great inflation hedge. And as a result, it's becoming an integral component of the investment portfolios of individuals, companies, and institutions. So yeah, and coming back to this, usually what happens when we see an all-time low of Bitcoin balance on exchanges, it usually means that we will see a supply shock. Because when demand keeps on increasing, and that's what we're seeing right now, and we're going to get to that into a bit. When demand keeps on increasing while the supply keeps on at approximately the same level or maybe even lower, that usually means that the price of something will rise. That's just simple economics 101. Another chart which I want to show you is the global liquidity. So this is how much money is currently moving through the financial systems worldwide. And here we see a chart which shows the global liquidity in blue. And you see that over time, the global liquidity tends to go up as more and more money is being created by governments all around the world. And this flows through the financial system. And what we usually see, indicated by the red circles in this chart, is that when global liquidity spikes, we also see that Bitcoin tends to go on a massive bull market rally. So we've just seen periods of here, if you look at the past trends, you see that global liquidity tends to go up for a while, which corresponds to a rally in the Bitcoin market, and then it goes sideways for a while, and then global liquidity goes on a massive rally again, and so does Bitcoin, and then it goes on a sideways period again. And now we might be entering another phase where global liquidity is going to shoot up again. And if history repeats itself and we see the same correlation, then it also means that Bitcoin could be shooting up very soon as well. Hey, past performance is never a guarantee for future success, because something happened in the past, it doesn't mean it will happen again. But I think there's a very big likelihood that these two will correlate again. So let's look at the next chart that I want to show you. This tweet is basically saying that the Tether market cap, so USDT, typically dictates the Bitcoin price. So if you see that the UST market cap goes up, so here you see in this chart, you see the yellow line, that's the market cap of USDT, which is a stablecoin issued by Tether. And according to this tweet, it states that the Bitcoin price usually also tends to go up when the market cap of USDT tends to go up. So what we're seeing right now is that, again, more USDT is being minted. And if this assumption is correct, that Bitcoin does indeed follow the market cap of USDT, which sort of corresponds to this chart that we've seen before, the global liquidity. So USDT is almost the liquidity in the crypto space. It's almost a very similar role. So it could be very likely that this correlation is very significant. And if it does play out, it means that, again, the price of Bitcoin could be following very soon and could shoot up to the upside. So that's a very interesting correlation to keep in mind. And I'm definitely going to look at this in a few weeks or few months from now to see if this relationship really holds true. Let's have a look at the next one. Of course, the Bitcoin spot ETFs are still buying. While there are very few sellers in the market, the buyers that are right now active are getting bigger and bigger. They're not joking around. They're not playing with their few $100s. No, they're playing with hundreds of millions and billions. And here is another update. BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺, stock ticker 𝗗𝗶𝘀, now currently holds around 347,000, almost 348,000 Bitcoin worth $20 billion. So if you look at all of this, so we see these massive buyers that are entering the market with record low Bitcoin balances on exchanges. Usually, again, when supply is very limited while demand keeps on increasing, it usually means that a supply shock is going to happen, which drives up the price of a certain asset. Here, BitcoinTreasuries.com shows that Bitcoin spot ETFs currently are owning almost 1 million Bitcoin. So that's 5% of the total Bitcoin supply that will ever be in circulation. And trust me, these guys are going to keep on buying. And now, if you assume that the supply of Bitcoin is 21 million, you kind of ignore the fact that so many Bitcoin has been lost already. So if we type in how many Bitcoin have been lost, how many lost Bitcoin? Somewhere between 2.7 and 2.8 and 3.8 million. So that means that BlackRock owns even a bigger supply of the available Bitcoin on the market. So that's insane. And these guys are only going to keep buying more and more and more. Another news article or another tweet. Goldman Sachs, if you don't know who Goldman Sachs is one of the biggest investment banks in the world, or one of the most prestigious investment banks of the world. They're currently holding over $400 million worth of Bitcoin spot ETFs. Why is this significant? Well, for the past decade, banks have been very anti-crypto. And right now we're seeing the great pivot happening, meaning that all of these institutions, governments, banks that have always been against Bitcoin are now realizing that rather than fighting Bitcoin, they can better just embrace it and use it for their own advantage. And as more and more of these institutions start to adopt Bitcoin for their own use cases, it means that we're getting closer and closer to mass adoption. Another, and this is almost a daily update, which is Metaplanet, a Japanese publicly traded company, is buying more Bitcoin, 500 million yen worth of Bitcoin. And they keep on buying every single week, almost every single day. This company is scooping up so much Bitcoin, and they're not the only one. We see MicroStrategy is buying more Bitcoin. We see Semler Scientific is buying more Bitcoin. And slowly but surely, more and more companies are starting to adopt a Bitcoin treasury strategy. Marathon Digital, one of the largest publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies, they are now going to raise $250 million to buy more Bitcoin. Again, another large institution or large publicly traded company going into the capital markets to raise money to buy Bitcoin. And all of that is happening while Bitcoin Bitcoin balances on the exchanges are at an all-time low. So, guys, I think we are seeing the perfect setup for a massive Bitcoin bull market. Now, the next question you may ask is, when is this face melting Bitcoin bull market going to happen? I always like to look at statistics. So there's a bunch of sites out there which show you the historical Bitcoin monthly returns. So you see, for example, in August, which is the month that we're currently in, we see that on average, it's like 50% chance that it's red, 50% chance that it's blue, what am I saying? That it's green. But on average, in August, the market tends to go up with around 2%. September, on the other hand, is mostly a red month. It doesn't mean that every year it's a red month, because last year it was a green month. But on average, September is negative 4 to 5%. So there is a big likelihood that we will still see a small dip in September, but that's not a guarantee. However, the fourth quarter, October, November, and December, are usually very positive months for Bitcoin and crypto. On average, in October, the market tends to go up with 22%. In November, 44%, 46%, and in December, around 5%. So if we look at the Bitcoin quarterly returns, which we see here on this chart, you see Q1 is also usually very good, very green. So plus 68% in the previous Q1 quarter. The previous Q4 quarter plus 56%. The previous Q1 quarters, 71%. So Q1 and Q4, that's usually when the big action tends to happen for Bitcoin and crypto. Right now, we are still at a period where the market is very fearful. We are almost at the previous all-time highs. We're hovering around 60,000, maybe a little bit above, a little bit below. And yet the market is so fearful, almost as if we are close to the bottom of the bear market. If the majority of the people would understand the stuff that we're discussing here in this video, they wouldn't be as fearful. In fact, they would be celebrating, because this means that it's a really great buying opportunity, a really great accumulation opportunity. Here you see the Bitcoin rainbow chart, which basically overlaps the price of Bitcoin, which is shown in the black line, with the dominating sentiment in the market, where purple means that the market is extremely fearful, and as such, it's a really great buying opportunity. And red means the market is extremely greedy, and that usually means that it's a really great buying opportunity. And for those of you that understand this chart, basically the way that you normally act on this chart is you try to buy in the green, blue, purple zones, and you try to take profit in the orange to red zones. That's when you generally tend to get the biggest profits as a Bitcoin and crypto investor. And then the final thing that I want to end this video with, that is, of course, the cyclical nature of Bitcoin. So for now, you should probably understand that Bitcoin has been created in 2008, 2009. We've been through a few market cycles, and every market cycle, people tend to say that this cycle is going to be different. But if you look and zoom out and you look and analyze at previous market cycles, again, we're seeing a lot of similarities with previous cycles. So here, this chart is showing that before Bitcoin goes on a massive bull market, we usually tend to see a correction, a brutal sell-off, a slow recovery, and then the market starts to pump. So this recovery might still be in the months of August and September, which perfectly correlates with what we've discussed earlier here in this Bitcoin monthly returns chart. And that in Q4, we might be entering this exponential bull market phase. So again, to me, these crazy similarities with previous market cycles is again a huge sign that we might be going on a massive bull market rally very soon. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that you gained some very useful insights from it as well. Let me know in the comments below what was your most valuable insight and how you are preparing to position yourself for maximum profits in this upcoming bull market cycle. If you got good value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting more valuable videos like this to help you to get an edge in the market and to make sure that you get most out of this upcoming bull market cycle. All right, peace out. I'll see you in the next one.